I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart perspective.
Well, hello again. This is Felicia Lockhart, and I want to thank you so very much for joining me here on the Lockhart Perspective. We have a very quick news brief, and I just wanted to read that out to you guys. It's some pretty interesting things that are going on right now across the water, but I do believe that it is very groundbreaking. I think that it's very telling prophetically. So, Pope Francis is meeting with the Grand Ayatollah Ali Sistani, one of the Shiite Islam's top clerics, on Saturday, marked a landmark moment in modern religious history and in terms of the foreign efforts to deepen interfaith dialogue. In a meeting on the second day of the Pope's first ever papal visit to Iraq, Sistani told him that the country's Christians should live in peace. Pope Francis's meeting with the Grand Ayatollah in Najaf lasted 50 minutes, and Sistani's office put out a statement shortly afterward thanking him for visiting the holy city. Sistani, as a quote says, affirmed his concern that Christians, citizens, should live like all Iraqis in peace and security and with their full constitutional rights. It's a document that he put out. His office published an image of the two, neither wearing masks. They decided to point that out here on the news article that's there in the description box. Sistani in the black turban, with his wispy gray beard reaching down into his black robe, and Francis in all white. So that's how they're describing, so that you can delineate between the two, one would imagine. Looking directly at the Grand Ayatollah, Pope Francis later addressed the rich spectrum of Iraq's religious communities at That's a very important point that I want everybody to jot down. One of the reasons why we're reading this, at which is the traditional birthplace of the prophet, as they state here, Muhammad, a central figure in Christian, Jewish, and Muslim faiths, where he made an impassioned plea for unity after conflict. The pontiff's trip to Iraq is an effort to both reassure the country's ancient but dwindling Christian community and expand his dialogue with other faiths. The pontiff had landed earlier in Najaf airport, where posters featured a famous saying by Ali, the fourth caliph and the prophet Muhammad's relative, who is buried in the holy city. It says, quote, "People are of two kinds, either your brother in faith or your equals in humanity," end quote. That's what the banner stated. Francis then headed straight to the desert site of the ancient city of where Abraham is believed to have been born in the second millennium BC. "It all started from here," Francis said, after hearing from representatives of the Iraqis' diverse religious communities. There were, I don't want to mispronounce this, but it looks like Yazidis, whose ancestral heartland in Sanjar was ravaged by the Islamic State, in 2014, as well as the Mandians, Kakis, Baha'is, and the Zoroastrians. Again, don't mean to mispronounce that. Shiite and Sunni Shiites, as well as Christian clerics, were there. Each was wearing their traditional religious garb with a dozen different tribes, or excuse me, types of robes. You see where my mind is, though. Speaking of different tribes, they had different types of robes and headdresses on, and the display was basically a red carpeted pavilion setup for the visit. Iraq is a Muslim majority country of 40 million whose Christian population has shrunk in the past 2 decades to just 1%, with minorities still complaining of ostracism and persecution. During his address, the Pope said freedom of conscience and of religion were fundamental rights that should be respected everywhere. He said, quote, "We believers cannot be silent when terrorism abuses religion," end quote. Francis said this in the message of solidarity with the minorities persecuted under his rule. He also made an impassioned plea for unity after conflict. He said, quote, "Let us ask for this in praying for the whole Middle East. Here, I think especially of neighboring war-torn Syria," he said. Following the prayer services in the Pope headed back to Baghdad to celebrate his first public mass in the country at the St. Joseph's Cathedral. Francis, a strong proponent of interfaith dialogue, has earlier met with top Sunni clerics in several Muslim majority countries, including Bangladesh, Morocco, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates. Well, the reason why I wanted to talk about that was because this is the eve. It looks like I shouldn't even say the eve. It looks like we're deep into the whole ecumenicalism, right? It looks like we're really deep into it. Hello to Rachel Van Ziel, and hello there to you, DJ Vision. DJ Vision, how are you? But that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like we are deep into the end times. I mean, we're really into it. Are you guys excited? Are you as excited as I am about this? We need to start to look up. This is amazing. Because even though we're not in the whole deal of blending and all this other stuff, just to see it happen lets us know that we are on the right track. We know what's going to happen. I just thought that was amazing. You know, for this guy, this pope, this particular pope is he's a unique character. Let's just say that, and let's just leave that there, because there is a lot of things that I'm looking at right now and that he is a part of that's pretty unique, in that most belief systems are not blended together like that. They're not all blended together like this. It's the way that they're trying to do this. There is a reason for all of the, and you know what, I'm going to say this in all fairness, and let's just veer off of this just for a small second. There is a reason for some lines to be drawn in the sand for certain things. You know, Ronnie Mann made a great point the other week, and he made a point that stated, to these people, what they do is not evil because that's who their God is and that's what they do. To us, what they do is evil because we know what the truth is, but to them, it's not evil. And as long as they don't know about it, then to them it's not evil. But the funny part about this is the three faiths that the article just mentioned. The three faiths that were mentioned was Catholic, well, it's Christian, but it's really Catholicism. Also Islam, of which you all know I've been a part of in my lifetime. No secrets here. And then also specifically talking about Judaism or the Jewish culture, right? So now when you consider that, that should tell you where they are attempting to attack. If you look at the seed that they are all attacking, that's obviously Abraham's seed. So that means that there's a whole lot of validity in what the book that we use to live our lives with. Yeah, trust me, I know a lot of stuff about this stuff here. Okay. And I can tell you that even in Islam, there is Rome. There is. There are several. I mean, just the topic, the little small things I could point out would be obviously the box, the Kaaba, and then also those little bitty beads that look exactly like rosary. So inside of each and every one of the major belief systems that was mentioned here in the article, and the description is down below in the it's in the description box. I've cited all my sources there. You can read more there if you'd like to, but each and every one of them all go back to Rome. They all have Rome's hand on them, and it's one man's seed that Rome has been after, chasing them forever. Yeah, it is. It is. Now, when I mentioned the Kaaba, and I mentioned the rosary type beads that Islam uses, well, one would say, well, what does Christianity do? Well, Christianity does a whole lot of stuff that Rome does. I mean, first of all, we don't dispute the calendar as far as we, and when I say as a body of people, there's no dispute to the there's no dispute to the calendar. There's no dispute to the days being changed. There's no dispute to any of those things. But then when we go a little bit over and we look at any of the ceremonies that we have, we believers should be dealing with specific high holy days, in that we're looking at the feast days. That's what we should be dealing with, but we don't deal with that. We deal with everything that's pagan. We deal with the Christian Christmas tree. We do. And so when people try to say, well, no, I'm not Catholic. Yes, sir, you are. Catholicism is Christianity. Everything that the Catholics do, you do. But it's just very fancy. That's all. It's just got fancy names for it. That's all. And it makes you feel good. So it does. And as long as you're attached to Rome, unfortunately, you know what? Lynette brings up a very good point. And I think we've talked about this in short on the channel a few times. And the one thing that I would like to say about the fifth word, actually the sixth word, I'm not going to say it out, but you guys see the sixth word here in the statement our sister has posted. I believe that is a spirit that has been going around, as you already know, for quite some time. All the stuff that's opposite of our Father is that spirit, right? And because it's that spirit, there's so much stuff that we should be looking out for. Because the main one that I know she's speaking of is going to come, but not after that sixth word there in that sentence has taken over every single aspect of our normal lives. Then he's going to make his face known. And I think that they do know who he is right now. And I do think, and I could be wrong, but I venture to say that we are literally in that time where old boy is walking around. But then again, let's look at it. Why wouldn't he be? He's a son of perdition. I mean, he's been around for ages. All he needs is a body to settle down into, right? That's it. So it's not about when is he going to be born and when is he. Nah. It ain't really about all of that, because their born is not our born. Their born is transborn, transhumanism, all the other stuff. That's their born. Okay. Justine DeVoe says, I went along with Christmas for my grandchildren, but I so didn't want to. And I want to tell you something. I feel you on that, because, I have 13 grands, and I have 3 that are really very close to me in physical location, as well as just because they're here. So they're closest to me. But I didn't do Christmas. I was so tempted to do Christmas. Since we stopped doing Christmas, I've been so tempted. Well, maybe I should do it for the children, or maybe I should do. But you know what I did? I said, no, I'm not doing that, because they will see a difference in me. They will see that I say one thing and I do another thing, that my yes is not yes and that my no is not no. I didn't do it, and I won't do it. And like I said, it saves a lot of money. But on top of saving a lot of money, I was able to tell them, listen, this is what grandmother believes. This is what you guys believe. This is what I'm teaching you. And I give you gifts all the time as far as the childlike part. Now, I'll tell you what was hard for me as the adult piece, as the woman. I like decorating. Red happens to be my favorite color. I've got a couple of other ones, but my main favorite color is red. I like color combinations too. I love Kelly green and navy blue. I love those two together. I love black, obviously being a hairdresser and a makeup artist. I love black, but my favorite color is red. And so I could always find, and still can, a lot of great things to pick up to add to my decor in other parts of the house with the red, because that's my favorite color. But as far as, me going back into that, it is very difficult. Very difficult not to, considering that you may have kids or grandkids. It's not an easy feat. So I applaud anybody who can make the steps. And if you make one step today, he'll help you with the next step. And then one day you just won't do it at all. One day you will love your family and they'll love you and you guys will have a conversation and it'll be, you know what, you guys, this is why I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I see, you know, I see paganism in this. And I'm not a witch, y'all not witches. We're just not gonna do it. We need to call it what it is, right? So I applaud you, Justine, for even having that conviction, to say, gee whiz, if it wasn't for them, I get that. And eventually that will wear off and you'll be like, y'all, I ain't doing it. Now, if y'all want to cook some food and you want to invite me to come over, I will sit with y'all and eat with y'all, but I'm not getting into all of that stuff. The moth eating Santas, dragging them out on the porch and putting them all up and stuffing them and doing all of them lights and all of that stuff. Why? Why do that? It's we already know what it is. Okay. Rachel Van Zyl says, my kids think I'm crazy because I call it pagan. Well, you're not crazy, sis. You're not crazy. Justine DeVoe said, wow, proud of you, Felicia. I hope to be strong. But you know what, sis? It happens on its own. It's not something that's just going to come up or because one of your friends did it or because some kooky lady on YouTube, you watch because I do it. It's going to be real to you. And that's when I believe that once it happens, your family's not even going to trip on it because by the time you get there and you've been talking to them softly and sharing with them softly what the word says, then they'll come around, and those who don't will respect you. Those who have not come around to your way of thinking, they'll respect you. You don't even have to worry about it. They will respect you. So I wouldn't trip. I would just continue to do my thing and continue to walk the way that you're supposed to walk, and you'll be all right. Don't worry about it. It'll happen. It will happen. And that goes for all of us, for everything that we deal with and everything that we believe. As long as you're doing it and as long as you're living up to it, and it's, it may be a layer after layer after layer. Because listen, you guys, we were ensconced in a lot of this stuff for a long time. I mean, let me take this camera off. I know my grandkids got a message because I want y'all to see my face when I talk about Valentine's Day. Okay. Yeah, they got junk on the table, but I don't care. Y'all need to see my face. I got to tell y'all a thing or two. Okay, here we go. Where am I? Am I there? Sister used to love chocolate. Okay. Used to love chocolate. Still do, but haven't eaten none in a while. But my point, it does come off in layers. But my point is that eventually it'll happen. But there are certain holidays that people just love. And I used to love Christmas. I used to love it. I love the decorations. I used to love the lights. I used to drive around and look at the lights because I like lights. I just like lights, right? And I used to love that. So I love that. I also loved Valentine, loved getting gifts. I love jewelry. I'm a woman. There are certain things that I just liked. I loved it. But with that said, once I became aware of what was going on and aware of what was shaking, I can't do it anymore. But we each get there at our own time, right? That's what we do. We get there at our own time. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and come back off the camera here. But it was good to see you for that quick second. But I had to let you see my eyes because I want to be real with you and let you know, yes, I did love it. I loved Christmas. I loved Valentine. Loved Thanksgiving because I love to cook. Okay. I love to put this thing back on the camera. I absolutely love to cook and I still do. But you know what? We can do those things during our feast days because you know what? I'll be honest with you. For those of us who are here, okay, we are really going to be end up being the remnant, and it'll get some more shaking will happen. You know what I mean? It'll be a little bit more shaking. I really do believe that. I really do. It does come in layers. That's right. And yes, and we did a big story on that. You were there. Were you there with us? Stilgar the Furman. We did that around Valentine's, I believe it was. But yes, are you kidding me? Bring me some diamonds and baubles, but you don't have to wrap it up in and lupercalia for that. Just bring me the diamonds because you love me. That's it. And we do have Easter coming up. You're absolutely right. We do have Easter coming up. But when you think of Easter, Ishtar, Ananya, or the Queen of Heaven, all of that stuff's some pretty wicked stuff. And so that's what the Christians or the Catholics have, right? And so all he's doing out there is just shoring up what they already started. See, isn't it funny how they started the division or the divisiveness, showing the Islam, and then the divisiveness between the Christians and between the Jews, and the only one that's truly made up a made up belief system is Christianity. As far as those three, the other two stem specifically from Abraham. Think about it. Think about what I'm saying. Abraham, he had Isaac and he had Ishmael. Those two broke off, and those are the two belief systems that you've got, but they're both steeped in Abraham being the father of many sons, right? But then you have Christianity that truly, honestly, is an anomaly because it's sort of like a amalgam of everything. Man, I'm not sure if this is an appropriate time, but there's a study of things that I'm working on right now, and I'll just tell you a little bitty piece of it. A part of it is wondering where the breakdown went in the quote church, Christendom. It didn't go anywhere. I believe that what happened was a veil was lifted off of our eyes. And because that was the only way that we knew at the time to love our Father, because the most of us were raised in either Baptist or, I mean, when you look inside of Christianity, it's the one belief system that has like thousands of divisions, thousands of doctrines within that one belief system. But I believe that what we had done, now that our eyes are open, most of us are not even churched anymore. We'll find a couple of people that we may like and we'll watch them. But for the most part, we're not having anything else to do with the Christendom the way that it was. But here's why: because they were being used as wolves in sheep's clothing. Yes, they were. Think about it. The pastors that we are now seeing we thinking in our mind, boy, they're crazy. Do you know they've always been that way? But we didn't see it because we were among them. But when the Father removed us from that, now we see it. And now we're like, wow. But can you imagine that? It reminds me of that. There was a movie with Jack Black, Shallow Hal. He couldn't see how shallow he was until somebody put something on him and then he could see it. Do you know that? He couldn't see that he was shallow. He thought that, what he thought what he was seeing when he was his quote normal self was the right way to see. And then when somebody threw something on him, he began to see the woman for who she really was. Well, you can reverse that, because while we were in the church, we could not see what we were a part of. I submit that the church did not change. We woke up. I'm going to say that again. I submit that the church did not change. We just woke up. Think about that. I'll hold. Yeah. I believe that the church, there was no difference in the church. I believe the church was always the way that it is right now today. It's just a handful of us just woke up. We woke up to the truth. And now you've got Pope Francis just visiting those that he's been in control for anyway. He's already had his hand. I mean, Catholicism or the Catholic folks, Rome has always had its hand on Islam. Always. And you can even look right now, if you look at Saudi Arabia, they've had their hands on the Jews. Saudi Arabia to me is nothing but the Jews. I know that's my opinion, but that's when I look at them and when I see the things that they do, that's just like a fancy place for them to go hang out. But Rome has had their hands on all three of the belief systems that were mentioned in this article that's down below in the description. So all they're doing is just walking in to check on everybody. That's all he did. All he did was just a quick walkthrough. He did. So now that will leave a lot of people to say, well, if I'm not a Christian, then what am I? How come you're not just a believer in the Father? Does everything have to have a title? Why can't you just believe the word? Why can't you just say I'm a believer in the true and living God? Oh, so you're a Christian, huh? No, not really. No, because once you start looking into what they do and what they believe, then are you? Justine says, last time I was at church, the pastor told us to go out and be light bearers. I couldn't believe it. Well, a lot of people don't know what that term means. He probably just thought he had something something rich to say, instead of being the bearer of light or being those who give light. There's a lot of things, because you can always say that whenever you, Justine, enter a room, that it's something about you, that people come up and they want to know you. You could be just at a gathering or something, and people want to know who Justine DeVoe is. And the reason why they want to know who you are is because of that light that's in you. So, I ain't gonna beat the cat up, but yeah, light bearers is just, I don't think he knew. Bless his heart. Rachel Van Zyl says that some pastors don't realize what they're teaching, and some do. Well, let's look at it like this. I wish that I could share this lady's video without getting a ding, but there are several people that are on this website here that are into that whole thing. And one lady straight said, you know what? The reason why we do what we do is we need their help. So we pretty it up so that the Christians can take what it is that we're saying and run with it. And they do, lock, stock, and barrel. Listen, if you do Christmas, if you do Easter, if you do even Thanksgiving, if you do Mother's Day, look up Mother's Day, look at its origin. If you do Mother's Day, then you are a pagan. Let that sit there for a second. You don't have to unpack it. Just let it sit there. Babysit it for a second. Romance it for just a moment. If you do any of those, you're pagan. And what is paganism? Wicca? A witch? I don't know. You tell me. What is it? Why are you doing it? Are you keeping the feasts? Am I being mean? I hope not. But let me pick up my toes just in case I step on myself. DJ Vision Barnett says, one thing I do like about, I think is what you're trying to say. One thing I do like about Christmas is the subliminal sacred geometry that is related to Christianity. And then Justine says, Rachel Van Zyl, I really don't think he knew what he was saying. I don't think he did either. I think he was just trying to seem like he was, who holds light, or who is the bearer of light, bearing light, people. Probably not. Rachel agrees. Justine said, sad, I used to love my church. Haven't been in over a year now. We had such awesome music, which I believe was a part of the problem. I agree. But then again, you know what? Louis Cypher handled the music up in heaven, right? So of course you're going to like it. Rachel says, Mother's Day education about to commence for me. And good luck on that journey, sis. Good luck on that journey. Freedom Farm says, interesting. I just thought I was being, what is that? Antisocial? Yeah. By giving up all the holidays and the rituals. Something always felt wrong about them. Freedom Farms, you're absolutely right. And that was nothing but the Spirit of the Most High urging you to let it go. And see, that's what I'm saying. The church never changed. When you say, oh my gosh, I used to love the music. You and me, we're in the same place. Remember, I ministered and sung at one of the biggest churches in the United States for several years. Okay. I mean, if you ever hear their Christmas CD from 2000, like the early 2000s, 2003, that female lead, did you hear singing on Crenshaw Christian Center's Christmas CD from back then? I don't know what they've done since. That's me. All over the world it was sold. I would have people calling me from different states saying, oh my gosh, I just saw you. I just heard you on a commercial, Crenshaw Christian Center. They're selling their CD. And I just heard your voice and it made me think of you. I just called you. So I know how it feels. And I do understand the whole music piece because, again, that's what I did. But here's the skinny. While we were yet there enjoying, all of the music that we sang and all the music that we were listening to, that was the exact same church that we're seeing disintegrated before our eyes right now, and we are seeing as being exposed for this really, really wretched thing. See, the exposed piece tells you that there was another level at one point that you could not see until it was exposed. So I submit that the church did not change. We came out. Okay? We came out. That's what it is. We came out of it. That was the beginning of our awakening. That was the beginning of our awakening, just realizing that this is not the father that I'm seeking. And I want to know him. I'm not going to leave him, but I'm going to definitely leave y'all alone. Let me tell you how tripped out I was. Man, I went from the church, then I started then I started just thinking, okay, well, maybe after reading some things on my own, I was like, well, maybe I'm supposed to serve it this way. Maybe I'm supposed to go to, go to a synagogue someplace. Then I said, no, because they're not right. So I'm not going to go over there. And then I was like, oh, these people are really nice. Not the Black Muslims, not that. But I actually went into Islam. I was like, okay, well, they're very nice too. And I sat there a while. I was like, well, they're very nice. They're very kind. Yeah, but I can't do this heat thing. And I can't wear this thing on my head too long. First summer came around, baby girl took that hijab and everything off and kept reading my word, kept praying in the spirit, kept doing all of that stuff. I said, now I got to leave y'all alone, especially when I seen them beads. Seen them beads, seen that box. I said, that's symbolism. Gotta go. That ain't it either. Still with all the word in me. With all the word in me. Still with the love of the Father. Growing more in compassion for others. Growing more in compassion for others. It's the reason why I don't buy a lot of negativity about people, because I've been around and I've seen some things. I used y'all don't crack up laughing. When I lived in Germany, I used to invite this little lady named Mrs. Gulviesta into my home. She was a Jehovah's Witness. And I would say, come on in. She looked, are you serious? I said, yes, come on in. We'll have tea. We sat and we drank tea. And I had my Bible and she took out hers. And I'm like, nope, that 144,000. No, that's incorrect. But I feel you. We sat there and we looked and we talked together. But I've said it, I've talked to a lot of people, but let me tell you something. No matter where I've gone, no matter who I've seen, I know one thing for sure, that these end times that we are living in right now is what was foretold in the word, and that there is only one true and living God. There's just one. And he sent his son. And his son died. He went down into the grave. For them 3 days, he was gone. He picked up the keys to hell, to death, to the grave, took it all, and he pardoned me for all the sin that I was born into, and pardoned me and all the sin and all the sickness and all the disease and everything that I would go through. He took care of all of that. Right there at Calvary, right there on the cross. He took on the tree. He was literally on a tree. Go back to Isaiah. There's a scripture that says, curses every man that hangeth upon a tree. Well, he was made a curse for me, and he was made a curse for you. Right? Yeah. So now I don't get down with all the other stuff, but I know some stuff because I done seen some stuff. But I ain't going to believe a lot of negative things about a body of people. No way will I do that. I will understand that there is wickedness in every single color, in every single denomination, in every single walk and way of life. There is wickedness. Okay? That's what I believe. But I believe that our Father, yeah, he's coming back for a church that's without a spot nor a wrinkle. Yeah. And you know what, Justine? I think we all did. But we used to say, if you don't remember what the pastor said when you left church, all you got was an emotional high. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got was the emotional high of it all. We never got anything else. That's all we got. Yeah. Rhea, Mother of Gods. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Rachel Van Ziel. So my point is, they're doing this stuff all over, but this is just letting us know that where we are right now is in the right time frame. We're in the right time frame because they're going to try to make everything one. And I want to tell you guys, I just keep wanting to say yes. Okay. Annabella Ramos, hello, how are you? To be a Christian as nothing to do with religions. We have to go inside to begin the journey. Um, I think what we're talking about, Miss Ramos, is that the whole Christian piece. In that Christian piece, this is the conversation that we were having. In the whole Christendom piece, there are a lot of portions to that Christian piece. Just the term Christianity, because when you think about the term Christianity, you cannot in any way, shape, or form remove Constantine from that piece. When you're using that term Christian, you cannot remove Constantine. You cannot remove paganism. You cannot. It's impossible, no matter how you slice it. But if you say that I am a believer in the true and living God, the only God, the God that said light be and there was, the God who placed the moon in the stars in the sky, okay? The Father in heaven that created man and out of a man brought a woman, all right? The Father that says be fruitful and multiply. The Father who later saw a need for man to have a savior and sent his son. Okay, that's what we're talking about when we get into the whole Christendom piece, because the Christendom name itself, as we've broken down here on the channel many times, there's nowhere you can take the word Catholicism off of that. You can't, because it all leads back to Rome. And there was a purpose for having all those little divisions and all those little names and all that little stuff. The people who believed in our Father in heaven, such as Job and all of that stuff, Job and Abraham, they were believing in the same Father, right? Well, what were they called? Thousands of years. The name Christian was given by man, and there is a lot of connotations to that. You see what I mean? Justine DeVoe says, amen. He is so good. Yes, he is. He's exceptional, and there's nobody like him. But what they're trying to do is just going ahead and fulfill prophecy. That's all. They ain't doing nothing but fulfilling prophecy. That's it. And so we already know, like we said before, just keep looking up. And if we keep looking up, we'll have everything that we need. There won't be nothing else that we need, because we already know what we're dealing with. But I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping in with us on this quick little news brief. There's going to be a few others. You do not have to stop in on them if you don't want to. That's cool. These are just for purpose of uploading to make sure that people are getting what is out there right now. And there'll be a few more stories that I upload today. But again, I want to do the news briefs, as many as I can, live. Okay, so that there's some interaction. And then there will be, obviously, I will still continue to do just my regular stories that are with music and that are with the subtitles, if they need to have any subtitles. All of that stuff will be the same. The videos will all still be the same, but the news briefs, I sort of want to do them as they come off the press. And that story to me was really a trip. Okay, that's y'all all sitting down there just chilling. Just chilling. They're just kicking it. That's amazing that he actually needed a whole lot of security. See, I started the story yesterday, but I didn't finish it because I wanted to wait and get more stories out of it. Yeah, I did. Now, what is this? India and China standoff. China moved the J-20 fighters. The moment that Rafales were stationed at LAC, says IAF chief. And Baghdad. Wow. Did you guys know about that? So see, there's a lot of stuff, and I don't want to bring that as a video. I want to bring that as when it's happening, we're reading it and we're becoming, we're privy of it. So you guys have a great day. I've missed a lot of your streams. Justine DeVoe says, thank you. I've missed a lot of your streams. I always feel uplifted and recharged when I watch you, sister. Well, bless the Most High for that. I don't take any credit. I give it all to him. But I thank you for that comment. It is a very uplifting comment to hear. And I just want to be used by him, to be candid with you. I don't want any of the glory. I simply want to be used by him. Okay. I'm just like all of y'all, every single day, just trying to make it. That's it. Just got a wild hair up my nose a few years ago and decided that's it. I'm just going to be bold in the Father and in the power of his might. I'm not going to be, and as bold as I sound, I was very, as you guys already know, very subdued about a couple of things, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. So you guys are all bold too. Y'all are bold, and you guys are getting. Listen, we're better today than we were yesterday, and hopefully every day that we're here on this planet, we get a little bit better. We can keep lifting each other up, iron sharpening iron, right? We can lift each other up. We can just be there for one another. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it's all. This is really what it's all about. We're still going to have our Bible study with Ronnie Man and I next week. You guys can peer into one of our Bible studies, which is what we did for a total of 4 hours this past week. That was 4 hours this past week. And believe it or not, my brother Ronnie Man and I will sit and talk for hours. His wife, myself, and he, we all chime in and we just toss in ideas as well, go and research the things that we're reading when I don't understand something. And you guys, I'm sure you're like this too. When I don't understand something, I have to stop right there and go back to that thing and try to make sense of it only with the word. And then I, of course, will use other things to study it out, to figure out what it is, because a lot of times things in the Bible is all written in parables, and it's all written in that time frame. So you got to go back and study it. So that's what we're doing. And that's the reason why I say, when you understand what Christianity is, when you understand the whole Jewish piece, when you understand the whole Islam piece, you'll see that is all part and parcel of the Abrahamic covenant, and all of it has everything to do with our Father and dealing with Abraham. Those three, because they all have Abraham in common. But the two that are just separate out of that would be the Islamic piece and the Jewish piece. Christendom coming out of all of it, but all of it leads to Rome. All of it leads to Rome. Study that out. Don't believe me. Study it out. And when you see those three correlations between those that I've mentioned, you'll say, that's what she was talking about. Yeah. Stilgar, the Furman says, the Papa's visit to Iraq today. The Sabbath. He went to Babylon, the ancient city of Ur. Check that out. Yeah. That's what we talked about already. We talked about that earlier, right? And so when you think about it, he went into Babylon, and I didn't want to step on Ronnie's toes because he's got a study he's bringing you guys with that. So in all effectiveness, Stilgar just brought it up. In all effectiveness, that's really what's up. That's really what time it is. All of these things, block upon block, precept on precept, everything that we're talking about right now is just leading you right there, leading you right there. No, you good. You good, Stilgar. You good. And that's what we're basically talking about. But the interesting part about it is there is a lot of stuff that's going to come out of that meeting. And I really feel for I feel for the Muslims. You know why? Because this is going to hit them. This is going to hit them in a way that they're not even prepared for. Why? Because unlike us, who's decided to pull out of what we used to deal with, they've not had the word to be taught. Because the hadith comes from the Bible, and you got the Bible, which you got the excerpts. You got excerpts of the hadith from the Bible. Then you got excerpts of the then in the Quran, you got pieces from there that's coming from different hadith. This is going to be a mess because they were not entrenched like we were with the word. But they do have a lot of understanding, and they do have a lot of information as it relates to the end times with Dajjal. They do. So I'm hoping that they see what we've seen since we've awakened and moved up out of the quote unquote church. I'm hoping that a lot of these people who really do trust and just want to love the Father, Abraham's, I'm hoping that those people will wake up and move on too. I hope they do, because the stuff that's about to pop up on them, they're not ready for that. Ain't nobody tell them this is coming. Oh, Justine, I love you too. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Lynette. Glad to be here. You know what? I'm so glad you stop in all the time. And I really, your thumbnail, okay? I love it, Stilgar. Amen. I love y'all's company. I love y'all's company too. Same here, Rachel. Oh, I missed it now, but you good. You come in on time all the time. I've heard some interesting things about that trip. Yeah. Well, seems like a ritual happening there. And it is. And it is. Because you know what? Listen, you guys, this is their environment. That's the reason why we're not of it. We in it because we here, right? But this is their environment. And because this is theirs, this is what they do, we're going to see a whole lot of stuff. And that's why we just need to get out the way. Just like Roy always says, prep, pray, and get out the way. I was thinking about something prepping. I may have said this to you guys before we get off here. I was thinking about something as it relates to prepping. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, you know what? I have all this stuff and everything. Hey, One Peaches 41. Sis, how you doing? I was sitting up there thinking, I was like, you know what? What if you get all this prepping done and you get all this stuff and you got a whole house full of food and you got a whole storage full? What happened if something happened to the house and you can't get all that stuff out of there and you just prepped? What does that tell you? Think long and hard about that. Think about that. So, what does that mean, Felicia? What does that mean? What am I saying? Here's what I'm saying. We have to learn to stay prayed up, and we have to learn to keep our eyes on the Father. And we have to learn day by day to not worry about tomorrow because it is sufficient for itself. And our Father knows that we have need of all these things. So, in as much as we would like to prep for tomorrow and all those other things, anything could happen. And you may have prepped for one thing, and it might be coming the other way. So, what am I saying? Don't put any stock in anything that you can do physically in this earth realm that makes you quote unquote prepared. Don't do that. The only thing you need to prepare is your heart full of the Father's word that you might not sin against him. He will, trust me, he will take care of us in every single direction if we trust him. If we trust him. But the children of Israel left when they did that Exodus, when they left, what did they complain about? Well, we had all kind of onions and we was eating all kind of good stuff. And you see what you did? You took us away from that. We're going to go back because we want the onions and we want the garlic and we want the leeks. We want all our stuff back. So you think they had a whole bunch of pocketfuls of garlic? And if they did, how long you think that garlic was going to last? And were they able to roast it or eat it the way they was eating it back there? I doubt it. What's my point? My point is that the same way he took care of them on that 21-day trip that should have only taken them about 21 days and ended up being 40 days, the same exact way that he took care of them, he's going to take care of you. But you've got one advantage on their story. You know how it ended up because they murmured and they complained all while they went through it. The advantage is that you've got a bird's eye view of what they went through and what they experienced. And because you've got that bird's eye view, it's incumbent upon you to just stay connected to the Father. Stay connected and understand that it's all good. All things work together for the good of him that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. If you see that the scripture didn't sound perfect to you, well, then I'm just paraphrasing, aren't I? But you know what I mean. So it does not matter how much you prep in this natural. The thing that needs to be right is your walk with him. Don't worry about the other stuff, baby. He got that. Trust and believe. It didn't take him by storm. It didn't take him by shock. He wasn't shocked, amazed, or surprised about none of the stuff that's about to happen. Why? Because he already know. But if you put your trust in him, no matter what you go through, what the devil means to throw a curve and a wrench in your life and harm you, I can guarantee you that the Father's going to take it and he's going to turn it around for good. He's going to turn it around. So your preparation should be in as much as you can, as far as in the natural. I'm not saying don't go out and get yourself no food. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is don't allow that to be your focus. Case in point, my stepmom, my mom, suffered a terrible tragedy when Louisiana flooded a few years ago. It was the one that happened after Katrina, because that was major, right? The other one was too. All the way up to the shoulders of her house or higher, it flooded the whole thing, and the water sat there for days. Sat for days. By the time the water receded and they were able to go to the house was thrashed. They had to pull up all the wall, all the flooring. They had to pull up the wall. They had to open up the walls. They had to do everything. They had to get all brand new everything. Pictures of myself graduating from high school, middle school, my brothers, just the pots and pans and things that she'd had for years, and dishes and just every cookbooks. Oh man, cookbooks. She had cookbooks that she would make things from scratch, cakes from scratch. All of that stuff was gone. Now, you would imagine that, of course, a woman of a certain age had at least some things outside that was prepped for an emergency. But that emergency left everything there, because all she could leave with was herself and the clothes that she could carry and get out of there as fast as possible. So any prepping that she did prior to that moment was for naught. But the one thing that he promised her for herself specifically in that situation was that she would be safe and would live through it. And guess what? She did. So what I'm saying is, choose ye this day whom you will serve. Will it be God or will it be man? Will it be mammon? Will it be money? Will it be things? Will it be a title? Choose ye this day. Choose. I dare you to do it. Choose. And if you choose him, then you've got to believe that he's got you. And if he's got you, then you're safe in his arms. Don't be so panicked running around trying to pick up this and pick up that and go get this and go get that and go get this and go get 5 of that and then you're sitting there broke and 2 months pass and you still ain't got no money and still ain't nothing happened. But now you done messed up on this bill and that bill because you done ran around buying all this stuff. Don't do all that. You buy what you need to buy, what you can afford to buy for your household. Trust him. You may want to buy a couple of cans here, a couple of cans there extra, because you never know. But do not make that a religion. Do not make that a religion. Understand what I'm saying. Pray about what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. And just really honestly, everything, take that all out of your mind and just think about what I'm saying. Okay? You guys are outstanding. It's so good to see you all. We are about to let's go ahead and disband this meeting, and we'll come again when I have some more stories. I don't know how we're going to do that, but All right, so we have a good evening from One Peaches 41. We do trust that everything is well with you out there in Texas, sis. Praying for you and love you. Pray and stay out the way. That's what he says all the time. All is well. That's good, sis. Again, the same phrase. I figure what I have will be here for others. You see what I'm saying? Nothing that mama had could be, though. Pray, stay out of the way. LOL. I thought about that. Camping gear. Yeah, you do. There's certain things. Yes, you do. You do want to do those things. Camping gear is an excellent thing. Backpack for everybody. And when you hear, because out here we get sirens that happen. I think they're scheduled. I think it's every Monday or every second Tuesday or something like that of the month. And we get the sirens that are practicing. But when you hear that stuff outside of the practice day, yeah, grab your backpack, y'all. Let's roll. Yeah, you got to have something. You got to have an emergency bag. Yes, you do. But I'm saying don't make that your lifestyle, that's the only thing that you trust, right? Don't make that the lifestyle. Justine DeVoe says, when you can't buy or sell without a mark, I'll be okay for a while and we'll be able to help others. And that's the best thing. And so what do we have here? I wish I could show you guys this. How bad did they jack my living room up? They got a bunch of junk all on the table. What's on this side? Okay, I'm going to show you guys what I have. Okay. What do I have here? Okay. Can you see me? All right. See, these are backwards though, aren't they? Can't see it, can you? So I get survival seeds, food for patriots. Like this, for example, is beefsteak tomato. And then I have all of my herbs here. I've got echinacea, cayenne, borage, butterfly weed, nettle, mad dog, skullcap, and then culver's root, hyssop, lemon balm, and catnip. And I get these things, right? Right? Get all that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. What's up? There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe I should open a little window there, give you guys a little light. I don't know. I'm not going to be like this for long. But anyway, yeah. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with it. Get those things. Prep in that manner. Yeah. You should be able to eat off your own land if you got it. I do have a kayak. I believe I've done well. But I'm done. No need for more. And if he tells you to do it, then you do it. You see? Because sometimes he'll tell you, move, go here, go buy this, go do that. And then all of a sudden you'll be frozen. The whole neighborhood will be froze for what? For how long? The neighborhood will be frozen and you can't get off the street. I look a hot wreck. Then you can't get out, you can't get off your road, and then you're blocked in and you're like, yes, he told me and I did it. Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about hearing his voice and letting him lead you and guide you, because he will definitely do it. I know it. You guys know it. Y'all remember, y'all. Some things that happen in your life, you'll be like, nobody would believe it if I didn't tell them. If I told them, they wouldn't believe me. I cannot read without my eyeglasses. So let me look here. Rachel Venziel says, I made that mistake at the beginning of all of this mess. Bills aren't worth it. Nope, not at all. What about 1999? How many of us ran around bought a whole bunch of canned goods? How many of us did it? I did it. Yeah, it was me. Well, you are so welcome. Here right now, one. You are so welcome. Hey, there's my brother, Paul Graves. How are you, kind sir? Good evening to all. We'll be watching a replay. No worries. Yes, seeds. I love them. That's like my second batch. That's my second batch. I'm listening to you from the garden. There you go. Everyone should plant something to eat. That's it, right? That's it. Do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Hey, and then if something happened, you could always run out of the backyard and snatch up a few things that you might need to snatch up. Yeah, you could. You could do all that. It'll snatch up a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, maybe keep up. There you go. Keep vehicles full. There you are. Nothing wrong with that. Yes, keep your tank on full. You see what I'm saying? And tennis shoes by my door. Hello. R. Jones, I know that's right. That I know is right. I know that's right. All right, you guys. Well, it's good talking to everybody. Again, I'm glad that we were all back here. Again, the topic was we were dealing specifically with Pope Francis stopping off in all out in Iraq to check on his family, to check on everything that Rome has invested in. That's exactly right. To check on everything that Rome has invested in. That's what they did. Yeah, that's all that was. A lot of people didn't realize it, but like we said earlier, we didn't realize what was going on in the church until our eyes were open. We were in this again. You guys take that with you today. Remember that nothing happened at the church. The church was what we used to be in. That's exactly what they are now. We just woke up. How about that? Diane Brown. Hello. All right, you guys, y'all take care. And I'll be back. Lord bless. Okay. And the creek don't rise. I'll be back. You guys take care. And remember what we always say here on the Lockhart Perspective, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of one another. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping